I'm Kyle Milan, and you need to watch my LinkedIn Lives because you're going to learn some shit, and sometimes I'm funny. We're here to talk about industrial sales, industrial marketing, technical sales. Then on today's episode, we're going to talk about how to build trust, which is the most important aspect.
Are you stepping up your sales game? It's almost the end of 2022.
All right, guys, we're going to do some cold calls. Hey, Bill, this is Kyle with Manufacturing Tribe, a Texas-based industrial sales and marketing company. On average, we create over 500 videos a year for our clients and write over 500 articles. Leave your comments in the comment section below. We will answer them when we come back. And if we don't have any questions, then I'm going to go on about my day. We'll be right back. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, please. Look at all the video content we have on there. I haven't spent 22 years in manufacturing to not know what I'm talking about. You need to watch my content. What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan. Today is Monday, so we are here for the Ask Kyle show. We answer questions that were sent over to askkyle@mfgtribe.com, and we go into comments on videos over at YouTube. So if you're not currently subscribed to the YouTube channel, go over to YouTube, type in my name. We've got over 350 videos there, and turn on those notifications so you get notified every time that we post new content, which is on a weekly basis. So for today's episode, Monday show is all about sorry, technical difficulties. Monday show is all about asking questions, answering questions that were sent in, and if you have a question today, we answer them live. Wednesday show, we pick a specific technical sales, industrial marketing topic, dive deep into it, and again, engage with the audience and answer those questions live. So without further ado, we'll jump into it. But before Laura does that, I need to do the intro so this looks good on YouTube. You've got questions about technical sales or industrial marketing, and I'm here to answer them. Is that good, Laura?
That was great.
All right, cool.
The first question, I saw that you guys at MFG Tribe offer sales as a service. How does that work if my company already, I typoed in there, if my company doesn't already have a sales team in place?
It's always great to see when Laura makes a boo-boo because it doesn't happen very often. So yes, we do offer sales as a service. So if you don't currently have a sales team, that's kind of part of the purpose behind it. So on our website, under lead generation, industrial lead generation, under sales services, that's where if you don't have a sales team, let's say you have, there's a lot of different situations, but let's say you have somebody that can close deals or have the conversations with your potential customer, but you don't have a sales force to generate that activity, generate that interest, you can sign up for that program where we do the heavy lifting, we do the list building, the cold calling, all that stuff, and bring in every single week opportunities for you guys to have conversations. It's kind of like appointment setting, a little bit higher level because we do have the technical knowledge. So if you don't have a sales team at all, but you do have somebody that can talk to the people, that is an option that's under our accelerator program. If you're like, I don't have a sales team, I'm not going to have a sales team, I just want you guys to bring in opportunities, close deals, all that stuff. That's our partner level. That's where we are your turnkey sales team, that everything is done in-house here in Austin. We work out a deal with you guys. We sell, we do the conversations, build out the RFQs, close the deals, get the commission, all that stuff on it. Or even if you do have an existing sales team, where it's a couple people, we have an option for that as well, where we're just managing, training, setting everything up. So that's that's at the lower level. We've really got it priced to be able to handle all the different areas of the sales team that you have. But yeah, you can go over that, check out the website, mfgtribe.com, and go under sales services and check out our different programs.
Okay, the second question. When you're building data lists for new leads, what is the best criteria to use?
All right, so you're building a data list for new leads. So the best criteria would be starting with your existing customers. So you currently have existing customers. I would want to try and reverse engineer that profile. So look at what's the common denominators with these people. Maybe it's an industry they're in, company size, employee headcount, revenue that they currently generate, geographic location, and then I want to do a search based on that to find all their competitors, company of similar sizes, people that are within that industry. That's really a good starting point. Let's say you have 100 companies and you look at it and say, these 10, these 15 are our ideal customers. We want to start there and reverse engineer that profile to then find other companies that are similar. That's really the starting off point. From there, you can figure out where do you guys have the most success and adjust criteria slightly. Maybe it's reducing the amount of headcount at a company to maybe you're used to dealing with companies with over 5,000, over 10,000 employees, but you say, hey, you know what? Let's check out the medium-sized companies, the companies that are 5 to 10,000 employees, and let's look at what comes back on that. That's really a good way to be able to go after, like I say in Technical Sales University, don't just go after whale hunting and the massive companies. You want to go after the medium-sized businesses and the small ones because you want your pipeline full of all the different types of opportunities you can have because all of them have different timelines to close. Sometimes these smaller deals, smaller companies can turn into big deals. Sometimes you can close them quicker. So you really want to cover the full spectrum and not just say, I only work with Fortune 100 companies because that could significantly hinder your pipeline and opportunities that are coming through if you filter down that specific. But that's where I would start and say, let's start with what do you have that currently works? Who are the companies that you like dealing with? And again, it's just kind of a guess, right? If you deal with Caterpillar, then on let's say their earth moving equipment, or you deal with John Deere on their ag stuff, and it's a good relationship, and you offer good services for them, could you in theory also work with their competitors and have a high likelihood that they have a need? Yes, in theory, but it is still theory. So you should build it out starting from that point and then start to market to them, sell to them, and see what kind of shakes out from there.
Okay, the last question I have for you right now. When you're building out a workflow, how do you prioritize where to start?
All right, so if you're building out a sales or marketing workflow, the starting point, let's say you have a brand new system, the starting point should be with your cold contacts. So really there's a few systems that you want to put in place first. First, going after cold contacts, then building out a nurture campaign, and then building out an existing customer campaign. Those three I would start at the exact same time as far as the creation. Now, how you pull people in, what is their category, what should they go into first, and when should those literally start? In theory, if the workflow is built in a system like HubSpot, you can start them all at the same time because they're going after different people. But the cold contacts, in industrial and in technical sales, it's a long life cycle. So you want to get in front of them as early and as fast as possible. So if you've got a list of, let's say you've used the list building and you've built a list of 1,000 people and they're cold contacts, I want to get them into that cold contact workflow as soon as possible to get that going. Then I want to look at people that once that workflow is completed, people that didn't engage, put them into a nurture campaign. I want to look at all existing customers, see if are they the lowest hanging fruit to a new deal or an upsell or something like that, and take all of your existing customers and put them into a workflow. But you can start all those workflows at the same time. It doesn't even take long to build out those workflows as long as you have somebody that's skilled and dedicated to it. You can build out all three of those workflows within the first week, populate them, and then week 2, kick them off and start them going. Unless you have an insane amount of contacts in your current database that you have to filter through, look at scoring, look at different lead statuses or life cycles, then it could take you a week or a month, depending on the size of your database, to be able to go through all of that. But in theory, you should be able to pound that out within 1 to, let's say, 2 weeks, as long as your current contacts isn't too large, and start hitting those people right away. Any questions before we go to break?
There is one comment that wants to know if we answer questions off of LinkedIn comments. So I was just going to plug that if he has a question to put it in right now.
Yep,
Johnny Brown.
Yep, absolutely. Johnny Brown. We do answer questions on LinkedIn comments. Anybody that leaves a comment in today's show right now, when we come back from break in 90 seconds or so, we're going to answer those live. If you ask a question after we're done with the live, then we can pull it back up either Wednesday or next Monday. So we're going to take a short break. While we're on this 60-second break, if you have questions, if you have comments, if you want me to dive deeper into a specific subject, put them in the comment section below right now.
How should I go about cold calling?
The people that you're calling, they don't have time. They don't have patience. You need to get direct to the point. For the marketing people out there, industrial marketers, just because you're in marketing doesn't mean that you don't have to look at things on a weekly basis. And I'm like, look, I know that I need to get into automation, one, for the labor shortage because I can't find people.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people in our industries of industrial that are doing fun things with TikTok. But I feel like you have to adapt, right? Did you see some instant spike in activity?
9 to 5, just make enough to survive. Only living on the weekends. You really thinking that's why I'm alive?
All right, guys, we're back after that short break. Let's jump into the comments. Laura's going to read them all out loud. Throw them up on the screen. Let's see if we can answer any questions for people.
One comment and one question so far. Johnny Brown says, "Hey, peace, one love, brother."
All right. One love. It's like some Bob Marley stuff. Let's go.
And a question from Rebecca: best marketing advice for an engineer to hire company?
Best marketing advice for an engineer to hire. What do you mean by that? What do you mean, Rebecca? By engineer to hire, do you mean you're like a recruiting company for engineers for people to hire them? Or are you talking about your company offers engineering services to people? So we'll pause for a second to see if you can provide any more clarification to that, Rebecca. Maybe let's see if we can see a little bit about Rebecca. Nope. All right, Rebecca, add a follow-up to that so we can just specify it. So I say in general, marketing, you guys have to focus on producing a lot of content, right? And you can't go down the path of saying like, I do 1 or 2 LinkedIn posts a week or like write 1 article every couple of months or share 1 video. So I would say in general for the industrial manufacturing industry, it's really step up the frequency and the types of content that you make. Also focus on video. But if we do get a follow-up additional information from you, Rebecca, then we can definitely dive in deeper. If not, Laura can reach out to you and be like, hey, provide some more details and we can answer that question on Wednesday's live or next Monday's live. We do note there's a 30-second delay or so. So when I say this, we have to pause and wait for the response to come through.
So far, she said engineering services.
Okay, engineering services.
Yeah.
So if you have engineering services, the best way to market it is still going to be you have to focus on being as noisy as possible. So typically engineering service-based companies, they are not producing a lot of content. They're not really active on LinkedIn with going out there and being loud and proud. So you have to look at all of your competition, and most likely they're doing the same type of marketing activity levels, which is somewhat slower and lower volume than a lot of other companies. So I would say in order to disrupt the space, you have to be posting things every single day, shooting videos, have a company create the videos for you, hire MFG Tribe to do it, to do all of your marketing, at least with videos, to be able to produce a lot of content. But that's really what it comes down to, is you're trying to stand out, talk about the services that you offer, talk about providing value. What are some stories that you guys have? Not necessarily like you can go down the path of case studies, but even if it's like you film one of your managers or one of your employees talking about a problem that they solved, the way that they save somebody money from a design standpoint, or complexity and reducing the complexity, depending on what type of engineering services that you offer. But it's really about sharing as much content as possible, and first create it, then share it out on social, connect with people, that are in your demographic to be able to provide them value. It could be weekly tips that you provide to people. As an engineering service-based company, these are common things that the top 5 common things that we see happen with our customers or why they reach out to us, and provide some solutions in that content. No different than the way that we produce content on a weekly and daily basis. We're trying to provide answers to questions for everybody, trying to provide value to people, to be able to educate, sometimes entertain them on a daily basis. And then that builds that trust and that builds that rapport between us. And it's no different than if you're trying to sell engineering services. You want to show you are an expert in that space. Here's the services that we offer, but you have to do it repeatably and consistently. Any other follow-ups from her on that?
Yeah, she said that they're a robotics systems integrator, but highly specialized in custom automation, and that they she said hashtag we build cool shit for the Department of Defense.
Oh, all right. Hashtag we build cool shit. So yeah, Rebecca, I would say that's the way to really do it. Is if you go through my content on the YouTube channel or anything that we're producing on LinkedIn, it's really that playbook that we lay out where it's all about producing content, sharing it out on the right channels, doing it consistently and repeatably, having some sort of CRM system in place like HubSpot to be able to email market out, building lists with people. That really applies to you. The nice thing about in your specific situation with you guys being a robotic integrator, we worked in that space for a little bit over a year and saw some massive results with our customer at that time. The nice thing about it is that not a lot of people in your space are doing what I'm telling you to do. So it will instantly boost you to the top to where people will start to recognize the name. And then when you guys are seeing them at trade shows, calling them on the phone, whatever it is, people will be more likely to say, yes, I've seen your stuff. Yes, I've heard your stuff, whatever it is that you're doing. And that's just going to make the conversations that much better. Or in an ideal state, they're all coming to you because marketing is working their butt off and producing all this brand awareness and this content. People start ringing your phone saying, hey, we want to work with you guys. But the only way to do that is going to be as noisy as possible in the places where people are spending their time. And that's going to come with content. Specifically, you guys are robotics integrators. I understand like there's stuff that you can't show because you do work with the Department of Defense or other industries that have non-disclosures in place, but there is still things that you can say and show little snippets of. So show the cool stuff that you're doing. If you say that you make cool shit, then I want you to show me that you make cool shit and do that on a weekly or daily basis. And that's the way to get the most attention around your brand. Hopefully that answers it. So if there's not any other questions for right now, and Rebecca, if you want to set up a call with us at any time so we could dive deeper, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or through email, kyle@mfgtribe.com. So without further ado, we will close out today's Monday show. Let everybody get back to what it is that you're doing. If you only caught the last end of this show, everything is stored on YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, turn on notifications. All of our lives are there. YouTube shorts, short videos, everything that we talk about is posted onto YouTube and lives there. We also have a podcast on all the major podcast platforms, Technical Sales and Marketing with me. All of our episodes are then put on a podcast in case you want to listen to them. Again, we go live Mondays and Wednesdays. This Wednesday show will be about some topic that we will think about over the next day. We'll be again live at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will see you on the next one.